Hi everyone, I'd like to introduce you to the Kidsteps Ladder I've designed. It comes with an adjustable platform at 3 different levels. The first level is for a mommy or daddy helper at the kitchen counter for toddlers ages 2 to 3 or so. The second level is for toddlers age 3 to 4. The third level is for toddlers age 4 and up sitting at the dining room table. These plans are available on Etsy under Kidsteps Ladder. See the link below. There are an infinite number of ways to build the Kidsteps Ladder. This is the procedure that I have used with success. First, I make sure every piece is cut to the exact dimensions detailed in the plans. I use a radial arm saw to make my straight and my angle cuts. You can also use a miter saw for your straight and your angle cuts. I place a guide here to make sure that every single piece, especially on the back braces, is exactly 14 inches. Every angle is exactly 16.48 degrees. It's critical that both sides of this ladder are exact mirrors of one another. For this, I do the following. First, I clamp both sides together of the back legs. I take a center point and I measure 12.75 inches on one side and 12.75 on another, and that is exactly where the outer edges of my forward legs will go. Likewise, I take a center point of my bottom straight edge and I measure 23.25 inches to the right, 23.25 inches to the left, and that's where my outer point of my legs will go. I make sure the back legs are exactly 90 degrees to the bottom straight edge. This is very important. From the bottom of the legs, I measure 7 inches, 12 inches, 17 inches, 22 inches, 31.25 inches. And I do the same on the forward legs. I take 2 pieces of 3/4 inch pine and I clamp them together and I place them exactly at the center of the 2 back legs. I screw them into place so they don't move. Now I'm ready to place the back braces into position and screw them in. You want to put your first screw at least 1 1/4 inches from the end here, because you're going to have a 2-inch screw coming in from this direction and you don't want it to hit that screw. Plus, you don't want your wood to split. The closer you are to the end, the more likely your wood will split. I'm using a countersink for the first hole. Notice I did not screw the screw all the way in. I don't want the wood to split, so what I do is I stop the drill and I manually just very gently twist it to where it's either at the same level of the wood or slightly below it. Next, mark the holes on the outer portion of your leg, making sure that you're not very close to the end, because the closer you are, the more likely it will split. Notice I'm using a 1 1/4 star-inch drive coated screw from Home Depot. Once you've got the sides done, you can either clamp it or get someone to hold it for you while you start to put the back braces in. I always pre-drill the holes with a countersink. It just makes it easier. I use the same technique for these. More important here because you're right near the end, so you want to make sure the holes are drilled properly and that you don't screw these in too tightly. You could hear it start to crack there. So we don't want to go any further than that probably. For the back braces, I use a 2-inch star drive coated screw. Notice I've used the steps as spacers to hold it in place until I get a chance to secure those. Notice I've drilled the holes on the top of this piece of wood, and I'm going to put the screw on the top side so it doesn't hit this lower screw on either side. Just right. I'm screwing in both sides of the bottom step to give it some lateral strength. You don't need to do that to the top step. You can just glue that on, but I do care to do this. And that'll be the only screw that is visible on this whole side, so it gives it a real good clean look. This I can put in nice and snug. Lastly, we're going to put on the handles. Notice that this side goes all the way here because you're going to have a safety device that's going to flop up and down right here. So here it is, it's all done. We have to still put Velcro on the bottom of our platform and Velcro on the 3 different levels. And we can do that after we paint it, or if you don't want to paint it, you can do that too. You can just have raw wood. So one of the things you do, you have an option to put in a safety bar, which has a part number that I've detailed on the plans from Home Depot, and that would secure right here, and it would go up and down like that. You can put a little bar right there to keep it from going too far if somebody falls or one of the children fall against it. And you can take that off after your toddler gets to a bigger age to where they don't need it. You feel comfortable when they're climbing up or when they're using this as a dining room chair. Now let me talk about sanding this ladder. You want to do that either before or after, obviously. You want to kind of smooth the edges down so they're not sharp, especially this bar, especially this handle right here. You want to smooth those down. Whether you sand this before you assemble it or afterwards, I find it's easier just to sand all the pieces individually before I assemble it. But I've done both ways, so either way is satisfactory, whatever suits you. All the ladders I've made so far have been made out of pine. I made this as a special project. This one is made out of oak, and it weighs incredibly much more than the pine one. So it will last forever. It's just as strong as can be, but you may want to consider just making them in pine. They're easy to lift. This one's a little bit on the hard side. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy your ladder. If you want to get the plans, please look at the link below here, and you can get them on Etsy.